Not the smartest guy, am I? Anyway, um, I'm going to show off some stuff. We're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Just a little bit of Jeffrey Epstein, Mark Dutroux, one of the biggest scumbags in history. Uh, Holy shit. Is this the coolest piece of craftsmanship I've ever seen with my own eyes and gotten a hold? It's a New England pattern. It's not a masting axe. It's too wide for that. Do I have a? I think it's about 8.25 inches wide on the bit. Huge, extremely front heavy. It doesn't get much more front heavy than this. It used to be on a crappy handle, and one time I swung it and it was like ridiculous. I actually have something else that's pretty cool here. Biggest double bit. You will not see a bigger double bit. It's about 22 inches from bit to bit, I think. Ooh, that's scary. It's a really cool handle. It's here, I'm going to try to show you guys. This is an asphalt axe. But look at that. That's like a custom-made handle to have that lip like that. And it's not a small handle. It's thick. Big handle. Look at this bad boy. Oh, ow. That just pinched the shit out of me. It is loose, so I can't use it ever again. Like, look how, I don't know if you can see. Look how loose it is in the eye. Huge. Bad mamma jamma. It does have a bunch of dust on it. It's just been sitting in here. Oh yeah, let me put that down. I don't really know how that was used. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's really. Never seen one makes a bigger mustache. Oh man, that was a missed opportunity for me. Yeah, I've been working on my mustache here. Carbon steel, little carbon steel action. Whew. Yeah, I don't know how anybody fucking used those things. They were 10 pounds or more, 22-inch long bit, or more, like 20 inches or more long from bit to bit. Massive. And then, I'm actually going to sharpen this up soon, I think. This is an ads. It's not a shipwrights ads. I guess it's a railroad ads. I forget, but has a nice stamp. Hope you guys could see that. It's an H. I think it's a Hubbard, but maybe not a super old Hubbard. It does have a really nice pole. Look at that beautiful pole. I've shown some of this stuff before, but new people around, and why talk about Jeffrey Epstein so early? Did any, what kind of mood do you got to get in, or like what does your life have to be like for you to want to learn about the worst things, and things that'll make you like stop believing in leadership all across the world? What kind of, you might not be a happy person if you're doing that. So I don't want to spread the misery to anybody. So let's avoid the Jeffrey Epstein talk for another 10 minutes. And let's talk about this New England pattern. So the eye is not in a huge, got a shipwright ads myself, also picked up a splitting fro. Ooh, it confused me that you said splitting fro. But yeah, that's awesome, man. They're kind of hard to find. I keep forgetting the camera's not here. Camera's there. The splitting fro, such a great tool. And you live in an area with lots of big conifers, so I'm sure there's tons of, I'm sure cedar would be good to use the fro with. They have cedar shakes, cedar, what are those called? Shingles. So cedar's a great wood for riving with the fro, controlling the split. You'll be able to make all types of shit without pulling out the saw and milling. Man, Urban Lumberjack does some chainsaw milling. That shit is hard. You think, oh, he's getting all this lumber. It's not that hard. He's using a chainsaw. I think that maybe using the chainsaw is harder than me what I do with riving, because the pieces that I rive out, um, like this is way lighter than those huge slabs people pull off of Alaskan chainsaw mills. Scared me. Yeah. Iron and Wood said it's really slow for milling with a chainsaw. It is incredibly slow. Blessings from Cowichan. I don't know how to say that. Never heard. I've never seen that word before. Cowichan Valley on Vancouver Island, headed your way. Cool. BC Gerbs. Thanks for showing up, man. I actually really needed this because I had a what's it called? There was a what is it called when you have children? This is all a lie, by the way. What's it called when you have a hearing for your children? Cowichan. Yeah, I lost all 45 children that I have. Me and my 35 wives just got divorced, and I lost custody of all 45 children. So it means a lot when people come in and support, especially from Vancouver Island, which is an awesome place for trees, which is, yeah, that's all I think about. Whenever people talk about traveling, it's weird that, to me, they're weird, but I know I'm weird. I think about the habitat and the forests there. So like if you go to somewhere and it's just mountains, mountains are beautiful, but I want to go look at the timber. That's me. And Vancouver Island has some, isn't it a I forget what that's called, a rainforest? It's kind of like a rainforest there, right? It's a very dense, wet, and bushy. Some of the biggest Douglas fir trees. Oh yeah. Is Vancouver Island where Buck and Billy Ray is? I forget. Not really sure. Yeah, rainforest. Yeah, but okay. So this sort of thing probably never would have been used in Doug fir. I'm just guessing. It is called a New England pattern, so to me that means hardwoods. But New England. I guess they do have some birch and stuff. Oh, look at Robert. Robert Blacksmith is also in Vancouver, BC. Oh, okay. BC said Bucking is 60 kilometers away. Is it kilometers or? Yeah, that's how you say it. I heard an interesting thing from someone who was from the UK and they moved to America. They said that in the UK or like Europe, you can like go somewhere another country and it's not that far. So the way that you talk about where you're going and how far it is, you don't say it in minutes. Like in America, we go like, oh, it's like 40 minutes away, and America's massive. North America's huge, and there it's not very large, and they ruin all their forests. So I'm not going over there anytime soon. I know not all of Europe, but definitely the British places did. Dumbasses. Yeah, so this is such a crazy piece of craftsmanship. I keep trying to talk about this and I keep forgetting. So right around here, it's like less than a tenth of an inch. And if you go to the bit, I swear it was like a third of an inch here, which doesn't really make sense. I don't know if it has a high center line. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it does. Oh man, it's super crazy. Yeah, it's really a crazy axe. One of the craziest axes I've ever found. I've shown it before, but I can't get enough of this thing. It's got an interesting forge weld too, where it was folded. You can see. And look at this eye. That's not a big eye. A lot of broad axes have a large eye, like this Fulton. This is a gorgeous Canadian pattern. Hey, Vancouver. Look at this Canadian pattern. The hump is what tells you. I think there's a Pittsburgh pattern with a hump here or some. I know there's another pattern, but I don't think this is one of those. I think this is Canadian pattern, and it's really something special. Look at that. Fulton tool. I think it has another stamp, like an O. Yeah, there it is. O2 or something. It's a really pretty axe, but look how much bigger the eye is on this smaller axe. Look at that. It's very strange. This is almost like a boy's axe eye. Very strange. But yeah, look at this beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. One of my best ones before I found that New England pattern. I met people from the Netherlands and they said they have time and their travel distance on bike. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think I read that wrong though. I bet the ping sound coming off that piece would be almost bell-like. Yeah, that's actually how I tell my 45 children to come for dinner. Children, dinner's ready. Is that creepy when you're tell you? I guess you know what's creepy if you do that when you don't have children. So I got to never do that again. Plus, a woman's supposed to do that, right? A woman's supposed to say that dinner's ready. Even if I cook, I make women tell the children. I make the women say, you know, hey, I keep telling everyone the dinner's ready. I like to cook, but I'm manly, so I don't bake. The only kind of baking I do is with firewood in a smoker or something. Let's see what BC said. I got my Grail axe for my birthday 2 years ago. 4.5 pound HB. Oh yeah, is it a Tassie? I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever held a HB Tassie. Sweet axe, huh? I was lucky enough to. I don't do it anymore, but I used to buy on eBay, and I was lucky enough to get a lot of good deals on some Tassies. I would have never experienced a Tassie probably without buying the cheapest ones I could find with a little bit of obsession. Here's another broad axe that's absolutely gorgeous. This one my pal from the flea market sold me, and yeah, I was really happy because it's a J Hicks. I think that means it's probably way more than 100 years old. I don't know how old this one is, but it's older. It's close to a Tassie. Oh, it's the is it the Arvika? Is that a Holtzbrook Arvika? I forget. That's cool that you got the axe. I forget what you called it, but basically like the axe you really wanted. That's awesome. By the way, for the first time today, I did. I don't know if it's called. Yeah. Okay. So it is the Arvika. Arvika is kind of like a thin Tassie. That's what kind of like a chopping. I mean, they're all Tassies. They're all for chopping, but we just decided that the cheeks are thick enough. Well, Buck and Billy Ray, I think he popularized the Tasmanian pattern for splitting, because not a lot of newer axes like mid 50s on had thick profiles. Heavy axe that with a thick profile. Here's a heavy. Well, it's not that heavy, but here's a delicious profile. And you can see that I had to fix this bit a little. Oh man, this feels light. That kind of sucks because I want to use this for splitting, but all I know, it hammers wood and splits like a champ. Nice. What are you splitting? Doug fir and stuff? You splitting cedar and Doug fir? Around here, we got a lot of oaks, got a lot of maple, mostly red maple, and man, city planters are so dumb. They plant silver maple, one of the most terrible trees you could plant on your property, especially near power lines. For some reason, the cities were like, let's put the worst tree right where it's going to grow under a power line, and then we're going to have to maintain it every year. And it's going to drop branches on those power lines sometimes. Oh, okay, Douglas fir. Yeah, I don't think I have any experience with Doug fir, like other than maybe I've seen it in building materials, stick frames. I guess I did a little construction when I was younger. I guess I worked with Doug fir that way. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's always Doug fir. The big 2x4, the long 2x4s. Those are usually Doug fir because Doug fir has really good strength. Like it's very flexible. I think Doug fir, and it's light. Oh, you use Doug fir to heat your house? Nice. I think we are stealing all your Doug fir for our homes here, but not for burning. Robert Blacksmith burns maple, alder, cherry, mostly no fir. Wife says it stinks. She doesn't like. I see. I don't know what fir burnt. Like I don't know what the smell of burnt fir is, but I obviously love the resinous pine smell or the coniferous smell of the sap in conifers. That's the best. Hey, there's a little cog. I want to press it. Yeah, when you were a little kid, I don't know if you're like me. Did you want to press every button? I got to know what this button does. Okay, so I'm gonna press that. If okay, so I could see the top chat, I could see the live chat, and I could see none. I could hide your messages. Why would I do that? The whole point of, unless you have a million people watching you, the whole point of it is to talk to people. All messages are visible. Oh, okay. Oh man, I wish I knew that before. It just stays. It stays up now. But this X is. I can't even read it anymore. Almost just cut myself on this mushrooming. You see this mushrooming? Instead of filing it off, I smashed it. So hopefully that'll keep a little bit of the weight. But man, this feels pretty light. I think it's just under 4 pounds now. Unfortunate. I love fatwood, and some of the best fatwood I've burnt comes from Dougie. Oh yeah, Doug Fir. So I live near, not like right next to it, but I live pretty close to pitch pine, to like pine barrens, and there's a ton of pitch pine. And it's so weird to me when people say like I can't find fatwood, because in the pitch pine trees it's everywhere. It's why it's called pitch pine, I guess, because it's just all resin. Every dead branch at the shoulder, resin. And then you can always go after the windfall, the stuff on the ground, and there will be tons of resin in there too. Let's see. Douglas fir is good for beams also. Splits good until you get into bigger wood, and the bottom 10 to 15 feet gets stringy. Yeah, Buck and Billy Ray talks about that all the time. Buttress wood being the most like fibrous and the stuff that really holds on to each other. I've had that experience with all types of woods. Is the buttress wood is the tough stuff, which makes sense because if it's not tough, that's a weak point for the tree to break at. Usually a tree will kind of pull the roots up. It doesn't really. Trees do not usually break at the fattest part of the bottom, and that's probably because that's really tough wood. Hey, what's up, Aaron? I feel like unlikable. I feel like I was very unlikable and said, "Hey, I hate when people are unlikable. That's why I'm becoming a villain now." I'm kidding. That's why I'm growing my hair out, my villain hair. I like big buttress wood, and I cannot lie. I knew you were promiscuous, Aaron. I see you working on. I see you boring those cylinders. All right, BC. Thanks for coming in, man. I got to read what you actually said now. Stay awesome, safe, and blessed, my friends, and keep sharp things fun. Yeah, keep sharp things fun is a nice one to say, because if it's like wartime, sharp things are not very fun in wartime. I like how I always go to something really dark. I started this off saying I'm going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not laughing because of what, it's dark. It's dark humor. I keep it low key, kid friendly and all. Yeah. Except for when you come here. You guys better not keep it kid. Well, you can keep it kid friendly here, but you don't need to, because I don't, and I won't. But I will put my safety glasses on when I get demonic and crude. I won't get demonic. I really like saying things that people won't like. I'm going to put my safety glasses on to block myself from my own bullshit. Now, I looked at today an axe. I left it outside in the rain, and it got really rough. Like the finish got really rough. I don't know what happened. And I brought it in, and I kind of forgot about it. And I just looked at it, and the handle's like all cracked up, which that doesn't happen very often. I think I didn't smooth the wood enough, and something to do with that before I put a finish on it. I don't know. Anybody else not giving a shit about taking an axe to 220 or 230 grit anymore? I just figure out how. People be like, "Who's this crazy psycho?" Yeah. It's humorous because the political people involved are terrified about being caught. Yeah. It's not just political. I mean, I guess you could say that, like, people with higher social status, it's all, like, connected to political people. So it's not just political people, but yeah. It's crazy. All right, let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Fuck it. What a weird event in history. It was such a big thing that it didn't matter what kind of political leaning you had. Like 80% of the country was like, yeah, uh, all of our like all of the power, all of our leaders. Let's see. I really don't like a handle that smooth. Yeah, me neither. I don't like a smooth handle. 120 grit is enough, and I don't even use sandpaper anymore. I pretty much just use a file, or like I scrape it with something. Although that can make a smooth finish. But yeah, everybody in the country, like 80%, didn't matter what you believe in and who you follow. Everybody's like, yeah, I guess like all of our leaders have been blackmailed into doing awful things because they touched children, basically, or were involved with sex trafficking. It's fucking nuts. Do you guys know about P Diddy? I want to talk about P Diddy because it's really funny that he's being accused of basically similar things as Epstein, and all people are talking about is he's gay. they're like, they're what's it called when you I don't know the phrase, but basically they're not talking about the important thing here. I mean, yeah, if you don't like gay people, sure, but what about the kid touching? That's more important to me. I don't like that. Let's see what I missed. Once it was out in the open, it still continued. Yeah. So I brought up Mark Dutroux before, and I learned all about this from the Martyr Made podcast. Mark Dutroux, what Pete Diddler? Yes. It's weird how much excitement we get out of like finding out these people are doing awful things to children, but I think we're happy that it's gonna stop, and because they did something awful, we're gonna fucking trash them about it. We're not gonna hold our tongues about it, and it's fun to talk about people being pieces of shit. So don't worry about laughing about this kind of thing. Um, I think it's normal. I think it's healthy to shit on people and kind of do it in a jovial way, as long as they're not continuing. But yeah. So I brought up Mark Dutroux because he was this. I think it was in Belgium. He was this guy, and it was a similar thing to Epstein, where this guy was found out to be like. It was actually really. I don't want to get into the real minute details because it's even darker. Imagine that, like murder of children and rape. He was like a serial killer, and he was found, and there was basically this huge cover up in Belgium, and 300,000 people marched in protest of this shit. That's how big it got there. That's like that doesn't happen. No, like even wars don't get 300,000 people to protest. So this guy was caught, and he was definitely connected to somebody because there was a massive cover up, and eventually the people of the country were just persuaded that it wasn't. Unfortunately, I don't think that happened with Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody's like, maybe all of our important leaders are involved in that, and Bill Gates. I might have just got microwaved to my brain if I said Bill Gates. I might I might get a heart attack gun to the chest right now. Anyway, Bill Gates is a fucking weirdo, isn't he? You find out he's like experimenting on people. He put himself in this place. He's no victim. A lot of people around Portland consider drug users just victims of the drugs, and I think it's more life choices. Wait, what are you talking about, Ironwood? Who's the victim? Who's no victim? I don't remember what I mentioned here. Maybe you're just angry at someone else. Yeah, I get it. Let's talk about all the people we're angry about. I could even get into. Remember, I mentioned my main enemy. It's the person that basically killed my dad. Oh, P Diddy. He's no victim. Yeah, hell no, he's no victim. I don't really. I didn't look into it at all. I just hear people saying things. They say like he had hidden cameras in every room, but rich people have cameras sometimes in every room. That's not like that crazy, but I understand that if that's like a party house, you can then record people doing stuff and blackmail them. That would be insane if P Diddy is like a blackmailer at the highest level. That's fucking weird. If he was like, I mean, we know that celebrities have worked with intelligence agencies from like the beginning, and also the mafia. How crazy is that the mafia like helped with World War II? That's insane. But I guess it makes sense. You kind of think that the world is about to be taken over. So yeah, I guess they didn't like Nazis. Pretty nice of them, even though Italy was part of the Axis. I guess that wasn't forever though. Yeah, how weird is it that Japanese people were like the people that were like, yeah, the white Aryans are the only people, and they're like, the best people, but we'll work with the Japanese. Fucking weirdos. Hitler was a. I almost said a bad word. Was not a very smart guy. He didn't want to win a war. He just wanted to kill Jewish people, I guess. Well, Epstein was intertwined in the intel groups. Yeah, yeah, that's what everybody thinks is that Epstein was working with Israeli intelligence and probably American intelligence. Lots of rappers are speaking out about P Diddy's parties, getting drugged and not remembering. Oh shit, I didn't hear about that. Oh, but a sore butthole. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah. If you're a rapper, you can't say I was raped. You can't. I don't. I'm just gonna. You know what? I hate that the new way of doing social media is you can't say suicide. You have to say unalive. You can't say rape. You can't say like the word. You have to say a word that means the same thing and it's less ouch. It's less aggressive. That's stupid. Why are we doing this? Why are we changing our language for no reason? Like it should be heavy. The word rape is heavy for a reason. That was a terrible time for you to say hello, Jaden King, fathead. But yeah, I don't like that. I think these words like murder. I don't want someone to say like he unalived that person. That's weird. He murdered him. It's a strong word for a reason. If you're reading books to children, sure, don't say those words. But maybe don't bring up these subjects either. Meek Mills took it hard there. Yeah, I heard the recording. A lot of people have been making fun of that recording. I don't know if that's actually him. I can't really tell. But man, yeah, if you get molested or assaulted sexually as a rapper, you just have no recourse. I mean, as a man in general, you never want to go like, yeah, I was sexually assaulted by another man. It's a weird thing. You weren't gay. You weren't trying to be gay. Someone forced gay sex on you, right? And if a woman did it, I don't know. Would you be more okay? So here's a question for everybody here, and this is all we're just gonna fine. We're just gonna have a crazy clapping his cheeks, son. Yeah, the audio is crazy, Aaron. I heard it. It's wild. But okay, would you be more willing to go to the police or be public about being assaulted sexually by a woman or a man? Does it matter? Because even when young boys are assaulted sexually, it's rare that they'll say anything. It's awful. It's awful. You hear about the Nickelodeon kid, Drake Bell. He recently came out and said he was sexually assaulted or raped by like some Nickelodeon guy. There's like a documentary going on. I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna watch it. How much fucking you know kid assault can I watch? I don't want to. I don't want too much of that in my head. That's awful. Um, but I did listen to a podcast for like 10 hours about Jeffrey Epstein. So, and it was things I could never forget. It was like it wasn't just Jeffrey Epstein. The Martyr Made podcast series about Epstein. There was like context around it, and how like he was just very upset finding out that there was a cover up, and when your government is complicit and stuff like that, it's like how can I trust them with anything now? Yeah, it's a sick world we live in. Now I don't want to do the thing where everybody's a pedophile. Not everybody's a pedophile, and just because you're in power doesn't mean you aid and abet pedophilia. But some of them did. Like I think the attorney general had to make the decision not to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein at one point. Like he kind of shooed the case. The only reason why Epstein had a conviction before was because I think it was some Miami policemen that pushed the issue, and they didn't need to. But obviously they felt you know, felt strongly about it. And anybody with a moral conscience probably would. Um, it's like the main reason why there's police is to protect children, right? I see the couple people left. I understand why. This is not axes, but fuck it. Let's. I didn't really want to talk about axes. I just want to talk. I just want to go live, chat with the peoples. This is not a political channel. It won't be. I don't like taking sides politically. I think sides kind of suck. I think every issue should be dealt with on its own, but that is a political statement. Um, but like, what if I'm gonna just say, what if one side has a good idea, the other side has a good idea in a different subject? Now you got to pick one good idea. That's stupid to me. Two party system is pretty stupid, but it's like, how is there not polarization if there's two sides? It's like it's gonna happen. I don't know. Whenever there's like stress going on in society, the two party system is going to go wild. And that's, we had a culture war, and maybe it's still going on, the culture war. I don't know. I read like comment sections, and it's like every single first comment is like the libs, the Republicans. Shut up. Why are we doing this to each other? Just kill the pedophiles. Just get the pedos. That is, how people say like, oh, if there was aliens, we'd have like a reason to kind of combine and get together. Oh, there's Matt Keeble. Politics is one thing, but it's partisanship that sucks. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be beholden to people that don't give a fuck about you, really. If you're a liberal, if you're a Democrat, and liberal used to mean, conservative. Liberal used to mean something good. Conservative used to mean something pretty good. If you have a conservative meant like, to me, conservative meant like a guy with principles who was probably in a rural area, and a liberal meant someone who was probably in a city and they believed in freedom, which is crazy. That's what liberal ideas are. It's about freedom, or that where they were. But anyway, yeah, partisanship does suck. I mean, can that? I don't know how to say that, but I get what you're saying. Canadastan. Yeah, yeah, dude. I know all about Well, I don't know all about Trudeau, but he does not seem too much of a. I know it's Canadian. And there's no Canadian constitution like the American one, or if there is, it's not the same. I know, but he does not seem like he cares too much about freedom, really. And people talk about the housing prices in Canada. That's fucking wild. $1 million? How's So there's just no homes. So just nobody lives in a home, I guess. How fucking rich do you got to be to live in a home in Canada? Oh my god, that's like futuristic prices. That's like we don't live in a. That's like not our lifetime anymore. $1 million for a regular fucking house. Maybe it's not that much. Maybe it's like 600,000 or something. I don't know. You would know more than me. Yeah, we just have. I don't know. I like. You know what I really like when I hear someone talk about situations. Million for a condo. 1,500 room isn't uncommon. Wow, wow. So it's like 4,500 if there's 3 rooms. That's wild. Um, yeah, you know what I like, and you know who like. The people I'll listen to is the people that talk calmly about like stuff. If it's like trying to rile you up, I usually think this person doesn't have my best interests at heart. Now I understand, like if you're giving a speech to go to war, probably riling people up is not a bad thing. Really depends on where you live. Oh, okay, Matt, you're not in Canada, right, Matt? Are you like really north though? You might be in Canada though. Really, but that makes sense because you can't really paint uh, everywhere in Canada with the same strokes of the brush. $2,500 for one bedroom rent. God damn. Well, in like New York City is crazy rent. Like you get like a box for $2,000 a month. You get to live in a cardboard box for $2,000 a month in New York City. Man. Oh, but what I was saying, I don't like pundits at all. And if you like listen to pundits and people that like get you riled up, you got to realize like, is this even good for me? or is this just good for him? Like, is this just good for the guy getting me worked up? So I got a nice Kelly axe and Toolworks rafting pattern the other day. Daniel Dali built it. It's sweet. Ooh, oh, I think I saw that. You got that from him, man. That is awesome. Daniel's the man. Daniel actually was one of the first guys that like was one of my pals with axes. I'd say George, I think very deeply, and Axe Yankee. You know, I learned a lot from these guys. I don't think I'm allowed to. That was treasonous, I think, Matt, what I just did. I just saluted Canada. Rafters are sweet. I only have one rafter. Okay. I'm going to go get the rafter. Hold on. The rafter's over there. I got my axe racks right here. Huh. Where is this son of a bitch? I don't know if I know where it is. Yeah, I don't know where I put that rafter. I don't want to. I don't want to waste too much time not talking to you fellas. So instead, let's see what a cruiser looks like next to an asphalt axe. I got two rafters from him and a double bit wedge pattern. Ooh, that's special, dude. You have some special axes from him. You know, I feel like he doesn't. Does he do a lot of regular axes? I guess he does some regular axes, but he has a lot of really nice axes. Look at this shit. What the hell? What the hell? It's insane. I just don't understand how you use this. It's an asphalt axe, so obviously you swing it at asphalt, but I don't know. I have to see it be used. I really do. Because I just don't get it. It's a little too large. This is such a beauty. So this is an original plum handle, probably. One of my favorite axes. I don't want to use it because it's so delicate and wonderful. Maybe I'll copy this handle one day. It has a little bit of a hole drilled into it and countersunk. I don't know what this was about. Like, you see how it's a... Oh, wait, it's not called countersunk. I forget what they call that. Counter drilled? I don't know. Anyway, it's an old plum. Absolutely gorgeous axe for making potholes. You think that's what they use the asphalt axes for? To just get more work? More city dollars? That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, I might make a what do I call these again? House mall. I may make a house mall with this. It definitely does some really special axes. He does, man. You know, it's not easy to like stock really expensive axes and make really expensive axes. You're like depending on your customers to buy your stuff, and it's a risk. It's risky to have like $300 axes or more. You know, I know he has some really nice stuff, and sometimes I'm like, damn, I want one of those. Um, he has the West Coast. You know, the thing is though, he has to buy everything online, which is just sucks. But I think he does a good job with everything he makes pretty much. I don't think it's a big worry for him. He's one of the guys. He makes it happen. You know, with me, I haven't sold many, but I'd love to. If anybody wants an axe ever, I'm an axe man. I'll give you and I'll even throw in this cutoff handle for free. Nah, I'm not gonna waste your time, don't worry. Why did I keep this? Anybody else is I know it's not dumb. It's like it's not hoarding either. I don't know. I just feel like there's something that this could be used for. Really, what this is used for is smoking some meat because it's hickory. Could throw this in, you know, get a little of that flavor. Although I don't use charcoal, so That kind of thing is for charcoal people, you know. I use firewood, and then I make that firewood into coals if I have to. Um, when it comes to charcoal briquettes, you could like throw a little chunk on it, and you know later on it'll smoke it up for you. But I don't do that shit. Anybody else smoke meat or use firewood to cook? It's my favorite. It just makes me feel good, you know. I'm like, women should love me. I could do this. Do you think that a lot of the skills we learn are like our like primitive brain going like women love skills, they like this. Women want you to do things with your hands. Yankee Doodle. Oh, there you are, Brian. I'm kind of glad you just showed up, Brian, because I was having some crude talk earlier and you missed it, so that's good. Brian is one of the, by the way, Brian is one of the nicest um, axe people in the community. Very supportive, knowledgeable. He shares his knowledge without worry. Just one of the best people here. And Aaron's great too, because I have no clue what I'm doing with chainsaws. Although both of these fellas are chainsaw guys, Aaron and Brian, two of the big members of the community. Brian is a legend. Yeah, yeah, Brian is a legend. Here's Joey L. I have a bucket full of cut off handles. Still don't know why I'm saving them. Yeah, why am I saving that? Why do I have this? Why am I keeping this? And you know, so I didn't used to cut handles ever. I never used to cut a handle off. But you know, I have my own lumber now. Oh, Brian, I love this community, man. It's really great. Very nice people. I don't think I've ever been insulted by someone who is into axes, like really into them. Nobody is, and I wouldn't mind, like if they were joking around, I wouldn't mind. But nobody has like really insulted me or anything, you know. Maybe behind my back, I deserve a little. Um, yeah, Matt said I agreed about Brian being the greatest man in the world. Up there, you're up there. I know you're a religious man, and I think you really like. You're really, you're a good example of that. Beat the bee. Hey, Brian, what's up with the Brian Two Bears? Is there a meaning behind Brian Two Bears? I never thought about that, but it's an interesting name. I'm guessing something to do with bears here. And Brian. Nice to keep them to draw out and make again. What like to copy as a template? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. This is not a great handle though. This was like a looks like a house handle, and I didn't like doing I didn't do a good job shaping it, I guess. I think I thinned it, but that swell does not make me happy. But you're right. You're right. You could like shape these into handle templates, and you know you if it's cut off, you just keep going up a little. Yes, my son named me. Long story. Oh, that's cute, man. Maybe cute doesn't sound right, but no, that's nice. That's very nice that you like you use the thing your son named you. That's very nice. Brian Two Bears. You don't have to tell the long story because it would be typing a lot, but from now on we'll just all guess. We'll just be like Brian Two Bears. Is that the time that you were attacked by two bears and you got out you survived? you you took a cut off handle and you sharpened each tip and the bears were attacking you from both directions and you just went like this and they stabbed each other. They stabbed through their open beaks. Anyway, you got those bears. Brian Two Bears. That would be a legendary story. Uh, there. You ever see the? Yes, That's it. Yeah. You ever see the videos of a man that was just attacked by a bear? You ever see? I think there's one in particular I'm thinking of, and he like survived it somehow. Man, that's crazy to be like ripped up. It's really awful the feeling of like wounds and injuries. It starts throbbing really heavy. Really crazy. Oh, you have seen that, Brian. Yeah, what a tough guy. I mean, real salt to the earth stuff, which I don't really know what that means, but I think it means like a man that like, doing a good job. He's doing a good job over there. When's the last time you guys flexed into like a mirror? I would never flex into a mirror. Well, I don't work out. That's what only reason why you flex is because you work out, right? Hey, what's up, Big Life? Big Life Restorations. Can we? I want to tell the story of what happened, Big Life. So I sent Big Life. I like to be honest about what stuff like that. So I sent Big Life a. I didn't even know Big Life at the time. I didn't know he had a channel. I didn't know he was into axes, and I sent him an axe, like a firehead, fire axe, a pickhead axe, and I sent it. And I was like, this will probably never be used by anybody, and I thought it was a little soft, the steel. And in the shipping, I apparently I did a bad job shipping it, packaging it because the edge got damaged. And so I sent it to him. Yeah, bus axe. I sent it to him, and the edge got damaged. I felt awful about it. So I was like, "Hey, I'll like give you a deal. I'll like send you another pickhead axe for a good price, and I'll give you something else." And so I did, and hopefully that was enough because oh yeah, and then the shipping was insane, and I didn't realize until later. And then I finally realized, okay, I can give him a discount, or I can give him a refund. So hopefully, Big Life felt like I did him right because I felt so bad. I never want to. I'm literally called ethical acts. I can't do things that are, I can't do those things purposely. That would be awful. I'd be such a phony. Now, I do like being ethical, very stand up. Oh, okay. I'm glad I like made up for my mistakes because I hated that. I hated it so much. Yeah, really. I since I talked to Brian Two Bears about his name, I guess talk about my name, Ethical Acts. It's not really that I'm ethical, but I do believe in that kind of thing. Like I like not polluting my environment, sort of thing. But really, it's just axes are ethical. Like the best way to chop a tree down for everyone in the world is probably an axe. But I understand that that's really hard on our bodies, so that's why we have chainsaws to help us out now. The bus axe is in the truck with me. Oh yeah, nice. Oh nice. Yeah, I my flea market pal found an insane bus axe. It was like it almost looked like an ice axe. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before. It was very small. It was really cool, really really cool. Do I have a I think I have a pickhead axe, but not in my immediate area. You want me to get the here? Let me go pick up the axe I was talking about that was cracked from being outside. All right. So this is man. I just get I've gotten like a couple gifts that are so awesome. This is from Cowboy Elvis, and he also was one of the main guys that helped out and gave me that Lincoln axe, which I'll get emotional if I start thinking about it. Yeah, he gave me this head, and it's a beauty. It's probably something up north, probably like New England or Maine. Really cool axe, and I left it outside. Look at the texture on the handle. I don't know what happened. The rain did this to the white oak, and let's see where the cracks are. It's probably artificial. I could probably sand this out, but yeah, that's not ideal, right? And then it broke. This handle broke right here when I was smashing it. And I glued it back together, and these are unrelated cracks, so pretty interesting. This is like perfect wood too. I don't know if you can see. Well, pretty perfect. Pretty damn good. Yeah, I guess that's a little twisty, but I mean, it's got end to end growth. Really nice end to end growth. This is a great axe, a great little axe. Let's see, let's see how long it is. I think it's 22 and a half. I just went backwards. I don't ever use this one. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's short. It's like let's say 21. Do you guys care about the kind of oh, lever lock? You know about these lever locks? I know I don't think professionals like these. but whatever. I think I bought it because it was really cheap at the time. Yeah, it's 21-inch axe. You've seen me use this. Well, maybe you've seen me, but I have this on video using this bad boy. I the last time I used it, I chopped right near a knot, a big branch, and I went straight on, and then I made the notch with a 45 and a straight. So it was pretty cool to finally do that with an axe. I really do got to smooth this out. Maybe we could do it right now. What do I have around me? Nah, not really. By the way, some possible news. Beaver Craft might be sending me an axe or hatchet to try out. That's really exciting. I would love to try out and review and test. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm going to say exactly what I think about it. And it's going to be funny when they if I don't like it, it's going to be silly, but regardless, even if it's not that good, I'll be grateful that someone sent me something. It gets a little weird when it comes to a company sending you something instead of an individual. If it's an individual, of course you should be grateful, and you really shouldn't be talking about the negatives in public unless it's like something dangerous, I guess. But if it's a corporation, you kind of owe it to the people that listen to you. Like if you're going to buy something because of my words, I really got to be honest. Love my shorty 22 Connie house axe. Yeah, so you call it a house axe. That's interesting. So does that mean you use it for like kindling a lot? Because this is like an all-rounder. To me, this can do it all. They'll be happy with the constructive criticism. Yeah, they actually just asked me what I thought about the other stuff they sent me. They sent me a push knife and an adze. And I told them that I wasn't a huge fan of the push knife, although I do use it as like a card scraper now. I kind of like it for that. I kind of like fixed up the spine. Okay. Oh, okay. So you use Big Life Restorations. You use it for kindling. Is there anything better than a good kindling axe? I mean, let me just see if I could. By the way, this is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have ever seen original paint on a small National. It also has the silver and gold. But anyway, I would not want to use this as a kindling axe. Now, it is a little heavier. I think it's like 1.5 or 1.75. So that's not too bad. That's pretty good. But I need more than 2 pounds. I need way more than 2 pounds for a kindling axe. And Big Life says he wants more than a 19-inch handle. Yeah, that's interesting. Because have you seen my house maul setup, Big Life? I use a maul, a 6-pound maul, on an 18-inch handle. All I did was just cut the handle broke, so I just cut it at 18, and now I use it and I love it. It's a dedicated kindling splitter, but I've done a lot with it. I've split full rounds with it. It's crazy that it works like that. But yeah, isn't this a really cool axe? But there's no tongue. Like the tongue is like broken off to like here, so I can't believe this handle is even still on. See? And it's weird like grinds on the top here on this side and then the bottom right here. Very strange. Maybe it happened at the factory. Anybody can guess what the hell is going on with this? Yeah, you see me use that? The house maul. Man, I love the house maul. I gotta copy this handle. This is a nice handle. Beautiful. Something about a plumb handle. Really. They really did a nice job with the looks of their handles. Obviously, up until a point. I think this might have been a Permabond. Maybe not. Anybody have an idea? The paint is so cool. I would never paint an accent, but if it's an original paint, I will leave it like that. I'll never use it, if it's valuable. I really don't like paint. I don't want paint in my firewood because I cook with that. I don't want to fucking eat paint smoke. Actually, you have another plum right here. And this is just so cool. I like to talk about this actually. So this is a Boy Scouts of America genuine plum. I think that's what it says. Yep. And the little boy that the little boy that got this when he was a young lad, I guess he has his initials on it, took such good care of this thing. I took the oh shit, what's it called? It's the conical wedge. Oh man, it's a screw, take up screw. I took the take up screw out, and there's no wedge in there. I'm just leaving it. I guess I'm just leaving it right now like this because it's really special to me that this young guy. He might not be alive anymore. This young fella that once owned this, and he took such good care of it. Um, yeah, so it's special to me. Something like this. I forget what the word is called. It starts with a P. I know that. My flea market pal and me have talked about this. He told me about it. When there's a story behind a tool, it's even more special. I've been swinging 6 to 8 pound mauls for firewood for decades. Now mostly Fiskars. Want a cool splitting axe. I just picked up a really nice all original Craftsman. I still have to date it. Hardly used. I like Craftsman axes. A lot of them have flat cheeks. Is it a flat cheek Craftsman, or is it older than that? I'm not sure if. Oh yeah, I have a double oval with convexing and high center line, and a high center line. What kind of splitting axe are you looking for, Robert? You want to find a vintage axe? It's hard to find them, man. It's really hard to find a vintage axe with a fat. Well, let me just preface: it's hard to find any axe with a fat profile. But the old axe is probably like before 1900. There's a lot of fat ones. But yeah, it's just hard to find a fatty with a heavy fatty with a good thick cheek profile. It's just tough. That wedging profile, you know. It's funny, we don't care about the profile of a hatchet. It doesn't matter. It's for carving. Almost every hatchet is for carving. They're not good for anything else, let's be honest. I know Killinger talks about how he doesn't like hatchets. I understand because he probably tried to use them for the only things that people actually use axes and hatchets for is kindling or splitting, and they suck. You don't want to use. You do not want 1 pound only to split kindling, unless you're splitting like dry, kiln dried fucking, slabs that are really easy to split. You know what kind? You know what kind of Craftsman it is? Is it a Dayton pattern? What are we talking here? Oh yeah, we're gonna get out of here soon. This was awesome, man. I haven't done a live in a while, and you guys showed up and talking to me about Jeffrey Epstein. The bastard, Jeffrey the bastard. It kind of sucks that he died, that he was killed because the people that worked with him and nothing happened. It just is over. Ghislaine, I call it Ghislaine, by the way. Ghislaine Maxwell. She's like fucking doing hot yoga in prison right now. She's in a like gated community in Massachusetts in prison. She's writing a memoir as we speak, and it's being dictated to her maid or her butler or whatever. I don't know if that's the situation, but yeah. Anyway, thanks guys for coming. I guess I wanted it here. I have some special axes coming up. Hopefully, I can get to them. I really want to get to these axes and make some cool stuff for you guys because that's what really spices up an axe channel. You got to have new axes. I got to swing some new axes. So thanks everybody.